So, if you watched yesterday's Thursday night football game, you saw the Dolphins play the Buffalo Bills, but most importantly, what you saw was Tua Tagovailoa go down with another concussion, and this is bad. This is his third official concussion in the NFL, but really, we could probably chalk up five because he had one playing in Alabama, and he had one where he left the game where it was just to do the protocol, and then he came back in. He's probably had five. He might have had more. We really don't know. But right now, let's say it's just three because that's the official count. Uh, but this is not good. This is not good at all. If you didn't get to see it, this is how he got his concussion.
Scrambling up the middle, and rather than sliding, he is going to dive somewhat headlong into Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin, immediately going to the ground, does Tua, and goes into that fencing.
As you can see, it was not a big hit. None of his concussions had been major hits to the helmet. It's not like someone's been leading in with a helmet and nailed him. And if you think it's just me nitpicking as a fan, check out what Roger Cromartie said on ESPN.
Brian Clark, when you saw that happen last night, what went through your mind?
I think the first thing is just immediate concern. And then another part of it was, as silly as it may sound, was the hit wasn't that bad, which makes it even scarier, right? Because it's not some of those glancing blows or some of those hard impact hits that we are used and have been kind of normalized into saying, okay, this guy has a concussion. And so it lets you know that for Tua Tagovailoa, this is a very severe situation.
That's an ex-NFL player saying that these are soft. It was a soft hit. And by the way, the person who tackled him there was Hamlin, the same player who had a heart attack on the football field and had to be revived and brought back to life. Okay? So this isn't someone who I believe is trying to hurt somebody. I believe he was just making a regular tackle and Tua got hurt. And that's his problem, is that if he can't take soft hits like that, then he can't be a quarterback in the NFL. And I'm not saying this because I don't want the Dolphins to succeed. I grew up in New Jersey. There was three teams that were always on TV: the New York Giants, the New York Jets, and the Miami Dolphins. Why the Dolphins? I have no idea. Probably because they were competitors with the Jets. But plus, we had a lot of people who moved from New Jersey to Florida, I guess. I don't know. Dolphins were always on TV. I ended up rooting for the Dolphins because I love Marino. So I have no hatred towards the Dolphins. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them win a Super Bowl. But Tua is not going to be the answer right now. He's always hurt. And these concussions, we don't know how long he's going to be out. He could be out 2 to 3 weeks. For all we know, he could probably come back and play next week. But that's not the right way to do this. The NFL has to intervene. Basically, the Dolphins have to sit down with the NFL, sit down with his family, and go through and talk to him about his basically what type of life he wants to have. He's already gotten the generational wealth that most of us will never have. Is it worth going through all this? If you go onto the National Institute of Health website, they actually have a page dedicated to what happens if you keep having concussions. Let's go check it out. Let's see what NIH has to say about CTE and how it affects the athletes. Recently, after several highly publicized, bad word, I can't say that on YouTube, by professional athletes who showed evidence of CTE, there has been growing interest in understanding the relationship between multiple concussions and bad word, though there are some indications of relationship between number of previous concussions and risk of developing depression. Very little research has evaluated the relationship between concussions and bad thoughts and behaviors. There are certainly theoretical reasons why individuals who have sustained concussions might be predisposed to bad ideations and behavior. For example, there is growing evidence that individuals who attempt bad things, particularly those who engage in high lethality attempts, show deficits in attention, working memory, and risk assessments, which overlap in neurocognitive residua of concussions. I've never heard that word before, both in short term and for those with long lasting post concussive symptoms in long term as well. Thus, the deficits associated with a concussion may lower the threshold for a person with bad thoughts to act on them. In addition, some of the associated symptoms of concussion, namely pain, depressive symptoms, and sleep impairment, are common antecedents of bad behavior. CTE is a form of brain neurodegeneration that is thought to result from the sort of repeated head injuries that occur in many contact sports. Clinical features of CTE include the progressive decline of memory and cognition, depression, bad behavior, poor pulse control, aggressiveness, Parkinsonism. I've never heard Parkinson written out that way, and dementia. As you can see, the more concussions you have, the worse your life will be. I don't want to see Tua be one of those guys that when he's 40, he's going to be completely gone. Like he's not going to be there in the head, or he's going to do something irrational, or do something that could hurt somebody, or hurt himself. I don't want to see that. So, for the love of God, the NFL, the Dolphins, Tua's family, please join together and let's save this man from himself, because NFL players are hard-headed. They're not going to quit on their own. We have to intervene. So everybody, if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell to get notified when I put out new videos. Until the next time, enjoy. Peace. I love you all.